Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a stock analysis on Tesla. Now, it probably isn't any surprise that it has been falling quite hardly. As you can see, ever since Trump got elected, we saw this huge spike and then we see it drop rapidly ever since. Now, personally, I have to say this, I really don't like the Tesla stock. I don't like their cars either. I did used to, but now they just can't compete with their competitors. European electronic vehicles are better, just the craftsmanship behind the car. Maybe Tesla has some better software, but if you have driven a electronic Mercedes, BMW, or Porsche, you'll know they are much better and they cost roughly the same. So I just think that they have lost out on that in the EU. Plus, also in the EU, people really don't like Elon Musk anymore. So they are really fleeing the market. We saw in Sweden, one of their biggest markets, it was down 70% sales in 24 in the first quarter of 25 compared to 24, and in France it was down almost 40% in the first quarter. So it's just quite bad. And also we see their main competitors in China are making better cars. I've driven both Teslas and BYDs. I would drive a BYD any day of the week. Just the riding experience is much better. The only thing they have going for them is their software. Tesla software is much better, and because of course they have charging stations, which also bring them in money, so they don't only make money on the cars itself. But the reason I also don't like the stock is because BYD's self-driving technology is very nice. They have a ton of data from just them driving around in China, and just the software they make in general around that seems to be performing better. And they have said that they would not be close to the idea of just giving it freely to other car manufacturers for partnerships. So let's say Mercedes wanted to join BYD or Xiaomi. I've also said this, then they would just get it for free if they partnered up on cars. So quite interesting, which also beats one of Tesla's main selling points. But now, if we take a look at the stock overall, as you can see, it was in a falling tendency from 300 all the way back. Get up here, add all the way back in July 23, and then it fell all the way down here to 145. I actually was considering buying back in April, but I didn't, which of course is a mistake on my side. I just didn't see it gaining any traction, but then holy shit, it did. And the reason for that is also, as you can see, it just kept not beating their EPS, which was quite a red flag for me personally. But then, of course, we did see this rallying and making a gold cross here. And then, of course, we did see once Donald Trump got elected, which was in October. And then we see almost in the same time, we did see them beating their earnings by 21%, which is quite great, of course. And then it just had a huge rallying all the way up to him entering office. And then back in December, when we did see some of the tech stocks drop a bit, Tesla was hit quite hard. Then, of course, it did rebound a bit, and then after Donald Trump took office in the 4th of January, I believe it was, it has just been a shit show ever since. We did see it getting all the way up to 440 again almost, but as you can see, it's almost halved ever since. Now in the pre-market, we do see it increasing up to 3.7%, so that is of course quite nice to be honest. And we are laying in the pre-market, we are laying on a earlier top formation here, as you can see. So maybe it's gonna break through this and gonna increase, but otherwise, if it falls down, the next proper support line is down here in 318. So that is of course $50 down from where the stock is trading today. So quite wary at the moment. Now, and as you can see here, they missed their guidings by quite a lot. I don't like how Tesla guides because they often overshoot it or miss it. So I just think it's really not that impressive how poorly they are at executing that. Now the income statement is of course great. They are increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing until last year where we saw them drop quite hardly. And I think a reason for this is also that they have so few models compared to other makers. They don't really have any small cars that people who drive in the city want, and they don't have any larger cars for family. Of course, they do have the one with the seagull doors. I believe that's the X, but it just isn't big enough compared to other cars of the same price tag. So yeah, annually, of course, they make money, but I do think 25 is going to be even worse. I think it's going to be a lot worse. My estimate is their margins and their net income is going to be, their net income, I think, is going to be around $5 billion, and I think their net income is going to be about 4.3% to 4.7%. That is, of course, my personal analysis. Now, if you look at the seasonals on Tesla, it's probably not a surprise that it usually performs insanely some years, and some years it hardly performs at all. As you can see, we have many years where it performs by 30 and 40%, and then of course 2020 where it performed by 720%, which was insane, and 13, 300%. But I would not take this as for goods because And we also see 25, it is already down 31%, and we also had 22, which was down 61 or 69%. But basically every stock were down in 22, so that of course is something to be wary of. But generally, I think 25, I think it's going to end down 50%. I really do think it is. I think it's going to end down in about 200. And the reason I think this is because once Tesla was trading at $400, it was worth more than every single other car manufacturer in the world, which is just insane because they don't make as many cars. Just the valuation alone was insane. So I just think the Teslas are quite overrated. In the stock price, I think there was some Elon Musk hype, but now he has become a bit more crazy, or at least I personally think so. He has gone too much into politics and not as much as he should into SpaceX and Tesla, because he is a great inventor, of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Tesla and SpaceX. But his main focus has simply just been too poor these days. And now the technicals on this is a sell for the day. For the month, it is a buy, and that's probably no surprise, as we are seeing here, it did bottom out, and then we did see a second bottom here, and then it has been trading from 226, and it is trading a bit greater. Now, of course, we do see this pre-market rise also in 3.7%, which leads me to believe the chance of us seeing a golden cross today, or at least this week, if this continues, is quite great. Yeah. So chances are it's going to increase. And as you can see here, 1-year price target from the analyst is 35% up. I think that is completely wrong. I am much more towards a sell on this because I think it's going to end out in 200 before the year's over. And I just think that generally it is going to be a great stock in the future to come. But I don't think it's going to be this year. And also just look at how many ratings there are and how widely different ranges they are in. We have 57 analyst ratings, 22 buy, 15 hold, and 12 strong sells, which is just insane. We do see some minus 50% and some plus 285%, which is just insane. It is really insane how much this differs, and that is of course because this is a stock that is quite easily to be biased against. Now, if you do look at their estimates for the future, they do increase them quite a lot, which I think is nice. Maybe this is going to happen, maybe it's not. I don't think it is going to happen. I think this should be more of a hilltop analysis. I think this should be lower. This should be lower. Then maybe they can increase in 27 and 28 once we see maybe a bit more of this political has fallen down and people really don't care about it as much anymore. But yeah, not a fan of the stock at all at the moment. Now, if you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.